President-elect Joe Biden has won the state of Georgia and also flipped Arizona. Now, Georgia and Arizona have been red states for decades. However, they decided to vote for Biden in this general election. He's the first Democrat to flip the states from red to blue in decades. CNBC reports that Biden's victory, the first for a Democratic presidential contender in Georgia since 1992, further secures a big lead in the Electoral College over President Donald Trump. Biden's victory would give him 16 more Electoral College votes and further solidify an already large lead over Donald Trump in both the Electoral College and popular vote tallies. So what's the number? Well, Biden has secured 306 Electoral College votes compared with 232 such votes for Trump under current projections. And I'm just gonna go to the very last graphic in this segment just to make a point about the hypocritical messaging from Trump loyalists. Kellyanne Conway back in 2016 had a reaction to 306 electoral votes that Donald Trump secured. She said 306, landslide, blowout, historic. I've yet to see a similar tweet regarding Joe Biden and this election.
They have a wonderful way of only caring about something when it benefits them and completely disregarding when it doesn't benefit them. So of course, that's the programming of Republicans. They will never call what Donald Trump just suffered a blowout, but in every way measurable that they consider, it was a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of incredible to see these states flip from red to blue. I mean, I don't think that that's indicative of how these states are going to vote in the future. So we shouldn't just pretend as though things are completely different in those states. They still have a pretty giant right-wing electorate there. Now, in Georgia, to make my point, Biden won by a very slim margin, about 14,000 votes. So as a result, the Secretary of State in Georgia has committed to do a recount. The recount will be done by hand, and we'll see what the results of that recount will be. But my guess is it will not change the results of the election in the state of Georgia. Also, Trump's efforts were dealt a serious blow when his campaign dropped a challenge of ballots in Arizona. Some good news. Saw a judge refuse to delay the certification of ballots in Detroit and learned that Pennsylvania will not order a recount of ballots. And so Trump's in a lot of trouble if he thinks that he can try to flip the results of this election. His lawyers have abandoned him. He's dropping this lawsuit in Arizona. And even during his press conference today, he almost conceded. He did so in the context of the pandemic and whether or not the country is going to undergo more lockdowns. Let's watch.
Ideally, we won't go to a lockdown. I will not go. This administration will not be going to a lockdown. Hopefully, the whatever happens in the future, who knows which administration it will be? I guess time will tell. But I can tell you, this administration will not go to a lockdown. There won't be necessity. Lockdowns cost lives, and they cost a lot of problems.
He knows.
We heard it. We heard it. And it's moments like that makes me really pause and say, like, okay, Donald Trump is not the complete moron that we think he is. He knew how to pivot fast enough to not make that confession to the entire international community that he knows that this is over. So he's really smart at being shrewd and really smart at distorting and really in telling lies. That's his master. That's what he masters in.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that he sees challenging the outcome of the election as an opportunity to raise money at this point.
Yeah.
And what's really pathetic is that this grift essentially, like he's a swindler. Like he's swindling his own supporters through all of these emails asking for money to challenge the results of the election in various states. And people are donating money thinking that he's actually gonna use it for these court battles, when in reality, if you read the fine print, the majority of that money actually goes toward legal settlements he might have to deal with, campaign debt, his own political action committee, which he could use for future political aspirations. There's a lot of talk of him running again in 2024. But it's just, it's amazing how much he takes advantage of people who support him, how much he likes to bamboozle them, and how they go for it every single time.
And that last part, Anna, is the thing. Like, how do they not see what is so obvious to us? It's actually written in the fine print there if they actually paid attention to it. But it's so much more important for them to feel the sensation that they are fighting back to own the libs, and Donald Trump has monetized that.
Absolutely, exactly. So I do see this as a grift, and I do think that it does have actual consequences. I don't think he's actually going to attempt to stage a coup, but at this point, what he is doing is fueling potential violence and civil unrest in the country. And I should also note that all of these like phony legal battles that he's engaging in, we pay for that. I mean, taxpayer money goes to, our resources go toward these ridiculous, frivolous lawsuits. And so there is a price to pay, there is a cost to that. But I think that he's pretty clear on what the outcome of the election is. I think he's already accepted it in his head. He's kind of given up on himself. He stopped dyeing his hair. He's very depressed. I assume. That video, man, he's hanging in there, I guess.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.